Hey guys, what's up? Charles here. Thank you so much for being here. And I want to say thank you to all the new subscribers. Thanks for everybody that came from Ivan's channel and also anybody else. Thanks a lot for being here. I really appreciate it. I appreciate all of you. Thank you guys. So today I want to talk about the really important topic, because today I want to talk about cancer and how to prevent it through some dietary changes. Because it's a really serious topic and people need to know what I know right now, because there are studies out there that show cancer regression, and I want to talk about that in this video. So if you want to know more what you could do on a daily basis to decrease the risk of getting cancer and to add some extra years to your lifespan, because I guess 10 to 20 years are pretty realistic. So if you want to see that, make sure to subscribe down below, because I will be making a lot of more videos about these topics, and also make sure to watch that video till the end. So thanks a lot for being here guys, and without any further ado, let's dive into the video. What you need to know is there is a hormone called IGF-1, Insulin Growth Factor One. And if you experience a lot of this hormone, our body will grow, our cell will proliferate, our cell will divide more, and we will just grow as an organism. But now the problem is, if you are young and experience a lot of IGF-1, this is a good thing, because you want to grow, you want to get stronger bones, you want to develop. But if you still experience a lot of this hormone when you're an adult, when you don't want to grow anymore, then this is a kind of bad thing. It's a two-sided sword, because on one side you need it to be healthy, but if you have too much, your body will just grow too many cells, too many new cells. And if you already have some DNA damage going on, if you already have some mutations going on in your body somewhere, this mutation will also develop and can also spread, and then also tumors can develop and you can get cancer at an older age. I don't want to scare you, because cancer is a disease you don't usually get when you're young, you get it later on. But still, if you start right now to change your lifestyle, you can prevent that stuff. So now, as I said, if you experience a lot of IGF-1, there's a risk of developing bad cells, and that these bad cells can spread. So how can you decrease your level of IGF-1 on a daily basis and have like healthy levels? Because how most people are eating right now, this is just not the case. Most people are eating a lot of crap and they don't know what they're doing, and nobody really knows what the research is, and then most people are getting cancer. A lot of people are getting cancer in the 60s and 70s, and for me it's pretty painful to watch, because it's kind of getting normal. So what you can do is you need to change your lifestyle a little bit, your diet a little bit. So what you need to know is, for example, dairy, like milk products, are spiking this IGF-1 pretty hard. So just by avoiding dairy and milk products, you will experience less IGF-1 on a daily basis, because the problem is dairy contains a specific amino acid to a high amount, and this amino acid is called leucine. Leucine is the amino acid that spikes the IGF-1 the most from all the amino acids. So if you eat food with a high amount of leucine, you will experience high amounts of IGF-1. The problem is, a cow's milk is not made for us to drink. It's not milk our species should drink, because cow's milk contains around 3 times more leucine than human milk. So on one side, adults drink milk that just kids should drink, and on the other side, they're drinking milk from another species. So why should you do that? I mean, I understand that we are kind of adapted to do that. We have an enzyme that helps us to digest milk. It's totally true. I mean, in times of scarcity, I would totally drink milk, you know, that's a no-brainer, because we are adapted to do that. But if you are not in times of scarcity, if you can think about our food choices consciously, if you can think about making better choices to live longer, you should not drink any dairy.
Well, dairy products cause high IGF-1 levels to occur in people. But that makes sense, doesn't it? Because what is the purpose of milk? The purpose of milk is to cause things to grow. That's the ideal food when you are growing, or any animal is growing its most. Any mammal grows its most is when its ideal food is milk, right? So you would expect one of the things for milk to do is to cause insulin growth factor 1 levels to go up. And so it does. They've done 2 studies, and both of them paid by the dairy industry, because as I told you, the dairy industry uses this to promote and to explain why cow's milk is good for the bones. I mean, they couldn't explain it in terms of calcium. That's just complete nonsense. So they had to come up with an explanation that had some scientific validity, and they've hit on it. is that when you eat dairy, what happens is you increase your growth hormones. As a consequence, the bones grow, everything grows. And so in the 2 studies they paid for, one in postmenopausal women and one in adolescent girls, they found that adding about a glass of milk a day increased the insulin-like growth factor 1 levels in these females' bodies by about 10%. And it is the milk that does it. The protein is an important stimulator, but milk is even a more important stimulator of insulin-like growth factor 1 production. They looked at 8-year-old boys, and they set up a test diet where they gave them the same amount of animal protein. And what they found when they compared 8 ounces of low-fat meat to an equivalent amount of low-fat milk, same amount of protein, and it was the dairy that really caused the rises in the child's insulin-like growth factor 1 levels by about 19%. So of all the things that you consume, at least that's what I used to believe, of all the things that you consume, dairy products, which is obvious, would be the foods that increase your insulin-like growth factor 1 levels most. And so if you don't want to promote cancer growth, you don't want to grow older faster, you get dairy out of your diet. And I think most of you have already figured that out, right? Okay.
So that's the first thing. Dairy will spike IGF-1 pretty hard. So the second thing I want to talk about here are animal products in general, because animal products in general, especially meat, fish and eggs, also contain a lot of leucine. Now, I know that you guys don't want to stop eat animal products. This is totally cool with me. I'm on a vegan diet right now, but I don't judge. And I truly believe that you can also add years to your life by still eating animal products. But what I want you to do is, if you still want to eat animal products, just know what it's doing to your body, what it could also be doing in the future, because meat, dairy and eggs all contain a high level of leucine. Now, if you look at populations that live the longest, such as the Okinawas, for example, they also ate animal products. But what they did is they ate around 96% of the daily calories from plants and just 4% from animal products. 4%. This means if you're eating 2,500 calories, around 100 calories a day just comes from animal products, which is not a lot, to be honest.
We know what they're eating from the U.S. National Archives because the U.S. military ran Okinawa until it was given back to Japan in '72. And if you look at the traditional diets of more than 2,000 Okinawans, this is how it breaks down. Only 1% of their diet was fish. Less than 1% of their diet was meat, and same with eggs and dairy. So it was more than 96% plant-based, and more than 90% whole food plant-based, very few processed foods either.
So keep that in mind. If you still want to eat animal products, what I would suggest is to get around 1 to 5% of your caloric intake, maximum 10% from animal products. Because, I know not everybody wants to change his lifestyle to 100%, that's me as well, I totally get that. So now, I talked about animal products, and a lot of my viewers that are on a vegan diet, perhaps not a lot, perhaps not my viewers, but other people that are on a vegan diet will say, no, animal products are bad, I told you guys. But the problem is there are also plant-based products that will spike IGF-1. And these plant-based products are processed. So every isolated protein source, also plant protein, will spike IGF-1. So for example, if you look at these meat replacement products that are made out of soy, like these soy patties for example, also these will spike IGF-1, because every isolated and concentrated protein source has a high density of leucine, the amino acid I was talking about before, and if the density of leucine is high, the protein source will be digested faster, and then this will also spike IGF-1 pretty hard.
They took and set up an experiment where with one group of people, what they did is they gave them 40 grams of milk protein. Like skim milk, that kind of thing, 40 grams of milk protein. And they watched what happened to their insulin-like growth factor 1 levels. And then they took these same subjects and they gave them 40 grams of isolated soy protein. And watch what happened to their insulin-like growth factor 1 levels. The results are down at the bottom. Milk concentrate increased insulin-like growth factor 1 levels by 36%. But isolated soy protein increased insulin-like growth factor 1 levels by 69%, or twice as much. 40 grams of isolated soy protein. How do you get 40 grams of isolated soy protein? Or maybe I should say, is how many of you had 40 grams of isolated soy protein today? If you eat 1 chicken soy patty and 2 soy burgers, you got 40 grams of isolated soy protein in. So you today increased your insulin growth factor 1 levels twice as much as you would if you'd have consumed dairy. If you consumed ACE, and I saw somebody in the airport today eating one of these, and I bet some of you did it, one or two of you did too. If you ate 1 soy candy bar and a soy shake, you would take in 40 grams of isolated soy protein. Oh, come on. I used to eat those things, didn't you? They're so good, especially the chocolate ones. And this used to be my killer. I do this every morning. Every morning I used to do this.
If your goal is to maximize growth and to get the best gains, and if you tell me like, okay, you know, I don't care about longevity, I just want to live in the moment and get the best growth possible, then you should drink protein shakes. Then you should eat animal products, because these things will spike IGF-1 more. Perhaps just a little bit more than plant protein shakes, but still you will get a little bit more growth out of that. But just know what it's doing to your body, and that it's increasing the risk of getting cancer. But if you want to maximize also longevity at the same time, if you want to maximize both things, like longevity, adding years to your life, decreasing the risk of getting cancer, and to have a good physique, probably get perhaps 10%, or I don't know exactly, less gains, but have a good physique as well, then you should totally not do that, because every isolated protein source, also pea protein, will spike IGF-1 more. Now, what you could do instead, if you want to maximize both things, like me right now, you should have a diet predominantly plant-based, if you want, like me, to 100% plant-based, or like around, I would say maximum 10% from animal products, and just eat like that, and also really unprocessed food, like food that is not processed. No meat replacement products, no protein shakes, protein bars as well are processed. Nothing really processed, just how nature designed the food, and just eat like that. Don't worry too much about like high protein or low fat, the stuff like that. No, just eat a plant-based diet, mostly plant-based and non-processed. A cool book I can recommend, and a cool doctor that talks about that, is also Dr. Michael Greger. He talks about his daily dozen, like the daily dozen food you should incorporate in your diet to have a healthy diet, and also amp up your caloric intake a little bit, so you will be able to make better gains in the gym. And then you're fine. Just do these things, eat a plant-based diet, go to the gym, have a healthy lifestyle, but don't spike your IGF-1 by eating dairy, a lot of meat, and like just processed food, also processed plant food. So this was my video for today, guys. I wanted to educate you in this regard. I wanted to tell you what I'm thinking about a lot lately, because this topic is like in my mind almost every day. My mission here on YouTube is to show you the research, to show you all this great stuff that is coming out right now, because I'm arguing in around 10 years or 15 years this stuff will be known, and I want that you guys heard it here really soon, heard it here almost the first time. So thank you guys for being here. Let me know in the comments below what you think about that topic. Let me know what your thoughts are. Thank you so much also for subscribing if you want to see more, and I will see you in the next video. Cheers.